and much more. High Octane Motorsport, your weekly adrenaline charge. We kick off this week with international rally action.
The modern city of Centurion is situated south of Pretoria, South Africa's capital. Centurion is an important industrial and commercial hub in Gauteng province and is home to many major multinational and national organizations. Centurion was a focal point for the Total Rally South Africa, second round of both the FIA African and South African Rally Championships. Veteran South African rallyists Skalkberger and Fitzwonderful powered their Subaru to victory in the Namibian International Toyota Tara Rally, and the pair topped the FIA African Rally Championship standings after one round.
There's going to be a lot of pressure because there's a lot of foreign competitors, and the local cars that qualifies as well for the Africa event. But we're going to do our own pace and try our own rally.
Skalkberger and Fitzwonderful have 10 points in the FIA African Rally Championship. 8-time South African Rally champion Serge Damso and co-driver Guy Hodgson lead the South African Rally Championship after winning the season-opening Volkswagen Tour Natal in the Castrol Toyota. Here's shown in action in Namibia.
Well, it was a good start of the year. I hope I can keep it going, and I think between Yanni and myself, I think it's going to be a flat out from the start to the end if we can keep it all together. It all depends how the event goes.
Damso and Hodgson top the championship log ahead of Group N winner Johnny Gemmell and Jan Hubig and Douglas Judd. Toyotas dominate the top 12 placings in the championship. The modern facilities at the Centurion Vehicle Testing Centre were used for technical inspection for the 59 cars entered in the Total Rally South Africa. It was also an opportunity for crews to renew acquaintances and catch up on some last-minute preparations before heading to Samrand for the traditional Super Special. 51 South African and 8 foreign crews entered this challenging two-day event organised by the Sports Car Club of South Africa. The foreign contingent included hopefuls from Britain, New Zealand, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Zambia and Kenya. On to the Samrand Super Special, where there was a festive atmosphere. Jugglers, skydivers and an aerobatics display kept the large crowd entertained before the rally got underway proper. The Super Special featured 2 similar courses, with 2 cars competing against each other and the clock. There were 19 VWs, 24 Toyotas, 3 Subarus, 2 Mitsubishis, 1 Ford, 5 Nissans, 1 Honda, 1 MGB GT and 1 BMW entered. The slowest cars in the field would start first, and the results of the Super Special would determine the starting order the following day. John Lloyd, second in Namibia, was making his first appearance in South Africa.
I'm delighted to be here. I've always wanted to come to a proper event in South Africa. I'm equally delighted to be lying second in the championship. I didn't expect that. Namibia was the first time I'd ever been to the country, let alone anything else. And we were helped a little bit by a couple of retirements, but we did well, and I'm pleased to be here. If I can pick up a few points here, I've now decided to go to Zimbabwe. And then take a rain check after that, see where I'm lying in the championship.
Cape Town businessman Fernando Rueda secured last-minute sponsorship from Total Morocco Swallows, one of South Africa's leading soccer teams. A move which sparked the interest of the Ajax soccer team, also sponsored by Total.
Yes, my son sponsored last night with Total Moroccan Swallows. They've never done anything like this, and what they're trying to do is bring rallying to the people in Africa. You know, in certain parts of Africa, like Kenya, rallying is a lot more well received than soccer. So what they're trying to do is try to bring similar thing to South Africa. It was a great idea. They asked me if I was prepared to do it, and I said for sure.
Time for action as Roger Pierce in the MGB GT and Nkusanati Nzimandi in the VW fight it out. The N1 class for 1.4 litre cars included a media challenge with journalists from popular magazines Ville, Drive, Cars in Action and Top Car fighting it out in identical Castrol Toyota Taz entries. Former motocross rider and circuit racing champion Martinez Breers decided to give rallying a try this year and made his debut in the N1 class in the Tour Natal in the Volkswagen Chico. Could he achieve a class win on the Total Rally South Africa? Nordic N1 class winner on the Tour Natal, Michael Houghton, has his way. The S20 class for non-homologated vehicles featured 2 off-road contenders in the form of Yaki Hubert and the Volvo turbo-powered Jojo Tanks VW, and Geniel de Villiers in the Nissan Hardbody, one similar to the vehicle in which Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek won the Namibian event and the Barbaspan 500 off-road race. Zimbabweans James White in the ex-Paolo Piazza Musso Ford Escort RS 2000 and Richard Robinson in the Castrol Toyota Conquest 4x4 found the going a little tough, with choking dust and a total lack of wind creating serious visibility problems. With the sun setting fast, there were growing concerns among those crews still waiting for their turn on the Super Special. To the disappointment of the large crowd, officials wisely decided to cancel the remainder of the Super Special. Day 1 of the Total Rally South Africa included 12 special stages in Centurion, Bronkhorstspruit, Witbank, Hendrina and Ermelo. Cold, rainy conditions greeted crews at the restart in Centurion. Special Stage 2 was run in the parking lot of a large shopping mall and was one of only 2 all-tarmac special stages on the event. The weather did not deter large groups of spectators from turning out to witness the action throughout the day. Multiple rally champion Jan Habig was in a cautious mood.
Quite a tough event, and it's long, and there's some places that are really tricky. So at this stage, the aim is to be very careful and get a good position at the end.
Jan Habig and Douglas Judd spearhead the Works Volkswagen attack on the South African Rally Championship in their Sasol VW Golf, finishing second overall on the season-opening Volkswagen Tour Natal. Off the start ramp and straight into the 1,9 kilometer special stage. Habig and Judd have rallied together for over 10 years and have been associated with Volkswagen since 1992. During the past 10 years, the pair have won numerous rallies overall and captured 2 national championships. Habig is known for his aggressive yet controlled driving style and is not an easy man to beat. Serge Damso started rallying in 1976 and has been associated with Toyota for 18 years. The 48-year-old driver hails from the Western Cape, and apart from numerous wins in regional and national championship events, he has won the coveted South African Rally Championship 8 times, all in Toyotas. He and Cape Town-based co-driver Guy Hodgson are the reigning champions and favourites to win in the locally developed and built A8 Castrol Toyota Corolla. Veteran Chart van der Velde and Cindy Harding have rallied together for 10 years, and this year have switched from their trusty Sasol VW Golf to the new locally developed Sasol VW Polo Player in the A7 class. Apart from the 2 VW Golfs in the A8 class, Volkswagen's primary focus is on the development of the Polo Player for competition use in all classes of South African rallying. Enzo Keen drives the second Works VW Golf.
You know, a car's a car. A front-wheel drive car, I love driving them. It suits my driving style, the left-foot braking. So, no, I think it's very much the same as the cars I've driven, like the Daewoo. The car is a bit heavy, but the handling is good. Power is, we're a bit off on what we had with the Daewoo's. But it's a tried and tested car. You know, Yanni's won a championship or 2 with it, so I think I'll be happy with the car, the reliability, that side, I'm happy with it.
Kim piled on the pressure, but had to be satisfied with the second quickest time, 15 seconds slower than teammate Habig. Team totals Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley were up next in the A6 Toyota Corolla RSI and found conditions a little slippery. Nevertheless, they managed to post the 9th fastest time on the special stage, only 22 seconds behind stage winners Habig and Judd. 23 seconds separated the top 10 crews. Damso won special stage 3 in Bronkhorstspruit, and then it was on to Witbank in Mpumalanga province. Fresh from a second overall finish in the Namibian event, Briton John Lloyd and Kenyan Adrian Kavanagh were hoping to consolidate their position in the FIA African Rally Championship with a good placing on the Total Rally South Africa. Relative newcomer to rallying, Johnny Gemmell moved up to the N4 class this season and promptly finished third overall and first in class on the Tour Natal in his L&J Plant Services Subaru Impreza. FIA African Rally Championship leaders Skalkberger and Fitzwanepoel could be relied upon to put on a steady performance. But for reigning FIA African Rally champion Satwan Singh, a non-finisher in Namibia, the pressure was really on. Trailing Berger by 10 points, the Zambian could only manage the 11th fastest time on the stage in the A8 Mobile Subaru Impreza, 27 seconds behind Berger, who posted the 5th fastest time. Fernando Rueda and Nick Haddon in the N4 Total Morocco Swallows Mitsubishi Lancer. The pair rolled out of contention on the Tour Natal and were hoping for a better finish this time out. Weather conditions deteriorated and the rain made the going rather tough for the crews as they headed for the Wolverkrans coal mining area. The conditions did not deter the crowds or Jan Habik and Douglas Judd in the Sassel VW Golf. Camille de Villiers and Francois Jordan posted the fastest time in the Nissan Hardbody but would not be classified. Habik was 17 seconds slower than the more powerful 3.5-litre Nissan on this stage, but was the official rally leader. Sassel VW pair Chart Van der Walt and Cindy Harding were being plagued by alternator problems which slowed them considerably. The problem was later found to be a broken high-tension lead. You're on board with Enzo Keen in the Sassel VW Golf. Keen is regarded by many as one of the most talented rally drivers in South Africa. His father, Christo, is a former South African Navigators champion, while his uncle Yanni is a former South African Drivers champion. Rallying is very much part of the Feken family culture, with cousin Hergen also part of the Sassel VW team. All was not well for Serge Damso and Guy Hodgson in the Castrol Toyota Corolla. A leaking oil cooler after special stage 3 forced Damso to stop at the roadside and effect running repairs. After 5 special stages, Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley, who both hail from KwaZulu-Natal, were comfortable leaders in the A6 class in the Team Total Toyota Corolla. Hergen Feken moved to the Sassel VW team this season, and with co-driver Dave Lukowicz is always a force to be reckoned with. The talented youngster is a highly polished driver. Veteran rallyists Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek in the A7 Total Bridgestone Nissan Sentra were involved in a neck-and-neck battle with Hergen Feken. Grobler and Leek won the Namibia event overall in the Nissan Hardbody off-road truck. Namibians Richard Himmel and Adolf Guterres were second in the A6 class in the ex-Damso championship-winning Toyota Corolla, but they would later be forced into retirement with a broken gearbox. Another crew that has moved up to the VW Polo player ranks is Tony Ball and Marty Ulifi. They form part of a 5-car factory team in the A7 class. Barry Grobler and Mike Burrows are part of the 5-car Sassel VW Polo player team in the A7 class and can always be relied upon to deliver a steady performance. A6 contenders Stefan van Dijk and Mark Pym were in contention until the motor of their Toyota Conquest blew later on in this special stage. With the rain bucketing down, the conditions became even more treacherous for crews like new VW signing Quibus Rus and Brendan Noonan. Rus is a former regional rally champion and the son of Quis Rus, a former top-rated rally driver. The service park at Wolverkrans coal mine. 5 special stages run so far and the drama was starting to unfold.
The stage times, we've taken most of the stages this morning so far. Yanni's taken 3 off on this last one, so it's very close.
Time for co-drivers to compare stage times, but problems for Lawrence.
In the first 2 stages we had a fuel surge problem. where I put a little tank in to feed the auxiliary pumps, but the auxiliary pump empties the tank out and the pump in the tank can't fill the little tank. So I bypassed that lot now. I'm just running on the tank pump rather, and it seems to be working. And then now we unfortunately made a wrong tyre choice. Well, I had it right, but then they didn't put them on. So I lost a little bit of time now, but we'll see how it goes in the next one.
There were problems in the Sassel VW Camp 2. A telltale pool of oil beneath the car spelled problems for Enzo Keen as the technicians went about bypassing an oil cooler and hopefully solving the problem.
We had an oil cooler burst in early on in the stage, and we had to run cautiously through the stage to preserve the engine. You know, it's a 3-day event, so. But I'm a bit worried about the engine. It seems to be all right now. It's got good oil pressure again. We had to bypass the broken cooler.
I believe that we can nurse it through and just make sure that we repair it properly. And, you know, if it's a bearing that's a problem, it will break now pretty soon. So I think we'll give it a good bash now, and if it comes out of the next stage, we'll be okay for the rest.
Special Stage 6 at Volbekrans Gold Mine, and the rain is causing problems for Jan Habig and Douglas Judd in the Sassel VW Golf. A leaking air vent is not the sort of distraction one needs at high speeds and with poor visibility to boot. The engine in Enzo Keen's Sassel VW seemed to be holding out after the earlier oil cooler problems. On board now with Enzo Keen and Martin Buerter in the Sassel VW Golf. A punctured left rear tyre slowed them and they dropped over 2 minutes on the leaders. The front-wheel drive cars were at a distinct disadvantage in the slippery wet conditions, and Serge Damso and Guy Hodgson had to settle for 4th fastest time behind 3 4-wheel drive contenders. Damso beat Jan Habig by 11 seconds on this 27.8 kilometer special stage. John Lloyd and Adrian Kavanagh set the 8th fastest time in the Mini Light Wheels Mitsubishi and seem to be getting to grips with the South African roads. 4-time South African touring car champion Haniel de Villiers posted the fastest time in the spectacular Nissan hardbody off-road truck. But the man to beat was newcomer to the N4 class, Johnny Gemmell in the Subaru Impreza. Gemmell and co-driver Gideon Trollop were on a mission and posted the 2nd fastest time. 8 seconds adrift of Gemmell and Trollop with Skalkberger and Fitzswanepoel in a similar Subaru Impreza. The 4x4s were coming into their own in the wet conditions. Berger's objective is to amass as many FIA African Rally Championship points as possible and not become embroiled in potentially risky battles which could jeopardize his championship campaign. The man Berger wants to beat most is multiple African Rally champion Satwan Singh. The Zambian has won more championships than he cares to remember, but currently has 0 points versus Berger's 10 points. Singh and Kenyan co-driver Tom Muriuki powered the Mobil 1 Subaru to 9th fastest time on the special stage, 61 seconds slower than Berger. But what has happened to Fernando Rueda?
Yes, Arthur, well, you know, we broke our lower steering arm and we hit a bank and we rolled, put on its roof. So now with this weather it would have been perfect. I understand the 4-wheel drives are going very quickly right now. With this weather it would have been fantastic.
Concerned looks from John Lloyd and Adrian Kavanagh as technicians tend to the Mini Light Wheels Mitsubishi Lancer. Veteran South African rally technician Andrew Cave in the grey shirt has been seconded to the team.
Well, it's fantastic rallying, but we thought we'd blown a head gasket on previous stage. It now looks like it wasn't as bad as that. We ran through that 27k stage without a problem. Just had to have the heating on full in the car, so it's like being in Kenya. It's about 100 and something degrees in the car. But we got through 27k's and didn't overheat.
Everything seemed to be well under control in the Gemmell camp.
No, it's going well. I think we won that stage. The conditions seem to suit our car. And 4-wheel drive's really working, and we're getting a bit of rain now, so it should liven up a bit later on in the day.
Service technicians prepare for the arrival of the Mobile 1 Subaru Impreza of Satwan Singh, who's been a regular competitor in international rallies held in South Africa in the past. Singh, like Skalkberger, was only concerned with a good placing in the FIA African Rally Championship category of the Total Rally South Africa.
Roads are getting very nice, but in this last stage you see the wiper came off and we couldn't see a damn thing, you know. And Skalk pulled a minute on us. That's bad, very bad. Normally seconds now, we are catching up. He's still beating us, but we're narrowing the margin on the beating.
The 17.9 kilometers Sunfloed special stage, and the light is beginning to fail as Jan Havig and Douglas Judd power the Sasol VW Golf to another special stage win. Their teammates Enzo Keen and Martin Buerta retired after special stage 7 with a blown engine. Chad van der Velde and Cindy Harding were on a charge in the A7 Sasol VW Polo Player, trying to make up time lost in earlier special stages. Piling on the pressure were Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek in the Total Bridgestone Nissan Sentra. Third fastest time on the special stage moved the pair into 5th place overall. Johnny Gemmell and Gideon Trollope had moved up into 3rd place overall after posting the 2nd fastest time on the special stage. The service point in Ermelo and a Taylor Woe from Enzo Keen.
It's not going anywhere. The engine expired after we had a few oil pressure problems, and I think it could have damaged, we had an oil leak like we spoke earlier, and I think it could have damaged the internal parts, and it basically self-destructed. It's a pity because we would have loved to finish the event.
No such problems for official rally leaders Jan Havig and Douglas Judd as service technicians tend to their Sasol VW Golf.
Yeah, it's been a bit slippery, and but so far we've had very little problems with the car. But we're having a tough time with the four-wheel drives because the stages that up until now have suited them, but maybe later tonight we'll be able to stretch our lead a bit.
VW Rally Supremo Johan Everter and Chad van der Velde debate the cause that is plaguing the electrical system of the Polo Player, while Kenyan Tom Mariuki fills journalist Dave Ledbetter in on the day's events.
A few Ks in, car number 15, the Golf, was parked in a very dangerous place after a blind slow left. We nearly hit it.
Blind slow left?
Blind slow left, yes. They appeared to be changing a puncher and they hadn't put any necessary cautions out on the road. The other incident that happened in this stage was John Lloyd went off the road on a turn slow left, and we stopped to assist him, but broke the tow bar in front of our car. So we left him and continued.
It's going well up to now. It's the first time that the car had a good outing. The previous event was not good for us. We fell out after 4 stages, but so far so good, and it looks like we're leading A7. So we're very happy at the moment.
At the end of the stage, John Lloyd's Mini Light Wheels Mitsubishi was looking a little worse for wear.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I half a K from the end of that stage, I went into a ditch, got the middle of the car firmly wedged, and we lost half an hour. Miserable.
Running way down the field, but leading the event overall are Hanil de Villiers and Francois Jourdain.
No, it's very good so far. It's going a lot better on the dirt than it did on the tar in the beginning, but I guess that's what it's all about. And it's quite slippery in some places there, but we're just trying to keep it together and see how we can get through the stages without any damage or anything going off.
The final stage of the day near the center of Ermelo. A 9.4 kilometer gravel and tarmac route catered well for the large crowds who turned up to witness the action, with Havig winning the stage. Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley continued to dominate the A6 class in the Team Total Toyota, with teammates JP Damso and Graham Hooper their nearest challengers. Mr. Consistency, Hannes Grobler and co-driver Richard Leek put up an outstanding performance to end up 2nd overall for the day. Chad van der Velde and Cindy Harding made up last time and finished 4th overall for the day, while Skalkberger and Piet Swanepoel lead the FIA African Rally Championship category by a wide margin. Johnny Gemmell threw away 2nd place when he had an off-road excursion that dropped him down to 12th at the overnight stop. Jürgen Fecken was on a charge after losing a lot of time when he got stuck on an earth bank in stage 8. Crowd pleaser and unofficial rally leader Hanil de Villiers never put a foot wrong all day in his first ever rally and had 1 minute in hand over official leader Havig. The overnight leaderboard. Camille de Villiers and Francois Jordan are the unofficial rally leaders, with Jan Hubig and Douglas Judd the first of the homologated cars and the official leader.
Up next, High Octane Motorsport features international rally action.
The final day of the Total Rally South Africa got underway in Ermelo. Crews faced another tough 10 special stages. There was early drama for Jan Hubig and Douglas Judd. A valve clearance problem meant the Sassel VW's engine wouldn't fire, and the pair were forced to drive the Golf out of Parc Ferme using only the starter. Drama 2 for Team Total's Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley, as their A6 Toyota also refused to start, and like Hubig, Lawrence had to rely on the starter to drive the Toyota out of Parc Ferme. Lawrence set to work to solve the problem, which appeared to be electrical.
We're still trying to figure out what the problem is. We think it's the igniter. It's not 100%.
Hubig and Judd go on their merry way after the early morning scare. 10 special stages in the Warburton, Amsterdam and Panbelt areas near to Swaziland were tackled by crews. Spectators turned out in their droves to see their favorite teams in action, and none were disappointed by Jannie Hubig's display in the Sassel VW Golf. On board with Hubig and Judd, enjoy the ride. Veteran driver Hannes Grobler at the wheel of the Total Bridgestone Nissan Sentra. He and co-driver Richard Leek had moved into second place overnight and were the Class A7 leaders. Third placed Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley got the better of the electronic problem on the Team Total Toyota Corolla and were the Class A6 leaders. Chart van der Walt and Cindy Harding up until now had experienced the troubled run in the locally developed Sassel VW Polo Player and were intent on making up lost time. FIA Africa Rally Championship leaders Schalk Burger and Piet Swanepoel had a firm grip on matters and comfortably led the N4 class in the Subaru. A newcomer to the N4 class, Johnny Gemmell led the event at one stage on Friday, but an off-road excursion dropped him well down the placings and was clawing his way back up the leaderboard. A steady run by JP Damso and Graham Hooper in the Team Total Toyota saw the pair move into second place in the A6 class behind teammates Lawrence and Paisley. The leading international team of Satwan Singh from Zambia and Tom Muriuki from Kenya. Singh is a multiple African rally champion and has been a Subaru supporter for some years. Four-wheel drives dominated. Gemmell was first, Berger was second, and de Villiers third. The service park at Warburton. Official rally leaders Jan Hubig and Douglas Judd were concerned about the deteriorating performance of the Sassel VW Golf. Identified earlier as a valve clearance problem, technicians set to work to try to remedy the situation. A concerned Jan Hubig threw some light on the problem.
We've got a small problem with the valve clearances, and the engine doesn't want to start at low RPM, and it's getting worse in the stage as well. So we're going to try and just remedy the problem and just cruise to the end. I think that's the strategy for today, and we'll abandon the dice.
Bad news for Hubig, but good news for the charging Hannes Grobler, who could now possibly take the lead.
We're basically lying second overall, and I understand that Jannie's got some problems. So we're going to try and keep the pressure on Jannie and see how long his car lasts. You know, you won't know, but we'll see. And it's going well with our car at the moment, no problems.
Co-drivers compare stage times as technicians attend to the Sassel VW Polo Player of Chart van der Walt and Cindy Harding.
Last night had a bit of hassle. We did one stage just in second gear, and that cost us a few minutes. But we repaired that, and we also changed the master cylinders last night, but now we've got a slight problem. The brakes are binding, but we know what the problem is, and we will rectify that now. So further, I think we must just hang in there. It's still a very long day, and the roads now is from here on, the stages are getting rough.
The atmosphere in Berger and Swanepoel's pit was relaxed. The Subaru had not missed a beat so far.
We're hanging in there. So far, so good. Still a long day to go, but we're happy with the results that's going on.
Johnny Gemmell was hell-bent on beating Berger and on gaining places lost the previous day when he tossed the Subaru off the road.
We dropped quite a bit of time last night. We went through a wire fence and it got caught up in the suspension, took the brake pipes out. So we drove the last stage with no brakes. But we'll try today. We're starting in 12th and we're looking forward to the rest of the day.
Not a good start to the morning.
No, a little bit of a hectic situation. We couldn't get spark. I mean, overnight the thing just doesn't give spark in the next morning. And seems like a loose contact in one of the wires to the computer. Found that, and we had to do 56 Ks in 20 minutes. We made it by 15 seconds. And now flat wheel in this stage. So we got to consolidate, I think, for the next 3 because they're rough, and then go for it for the rest of the day.
Anil de Villiers and Francois Jordan, unofficial rally leaders in the 3.5-litre Nissan hardbody off-road truck. A remarkable performance considering the fact that this was de Villiers' rally debut. Former rally champion Glyn Hall heads up the Nissan Motorsport project, and the team has become a dominant force in off-road racing under his leadership. The picturesque special stage over tough, twisty terrain. Hubig was as spectacular as ever, but clearly nursing the ailing engine of the Sassel VW Golf. Here in the cockpit with Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek. Grobler's smooth driving style has always been a pleasure to observe. Whatever he drives with passion and has the ability to conserve the vehicle in the toughest of conditions. Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley were on a charge in the Team Total Toyota Corolla and had a comfortable lead in the A6 class. Skalkberger and Fitz Swanepoel had decided to maintain their lead in the N4 class and amass maximum points in the FIA Africa Rally Championship. Stefan Boshoff and Paul van Wyk emerged as the Class N2 leaders in the Toyota Conquest after event-long leaders, Team Total's Dean Sanders and Ashley Herricker, retired in the previous stage. Talk about veterans. Class N3 leaders Jeff Mortimer and Harry Herricker have a combined age of 124. Mortimer is a former saloon car and rally champion who decided to return to rallying last year. Reigning N1 champions Rodney Pasahi and Carolyn Swan moved up to the new A5 class this season and, as in the past, dominated throughout the event. Anil de Villiers and Francois Jordan hard at work in the Nissan hardbody off-road truck, similar to the one in which Grobler and Leek won the Mitsubishi Barberspan 500 off-road race recently. Whenever off-road vehicles have competed in rallies, they have been major attractions, given their size and speed. It hasn't taken former motocrosser and saloon car driver Martinez Breers long to settle into rallying. In only his second event, he and Dolph Kutsia were runaway leaders in the N1 class. The Volkswagen-Sure VW Chico had also proven to be a formidable contender in the class.
My racing started with motocross, so I enjoy dirt, and I think I've got some background in dirt from motocross. I still have that feeling for reading dirt roads and changing roads, so I think it helped me a lot. Plus in road racing you spend some time off the road as well if you leave the circuit, so you learn to control a car when it's out of shape as well.
Despite having to nurse the Sassel VW Golf, Jan Hubig and Douglas Judd maintained their overall lead and had consistently finished in the top 4 on each stage run so far that day. Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek had dropped a place to Berger and Swanepoel, but were still the runaway leaders in the A7 class in the Total Bridgestone Nissan. On board with Class A6 leaders Lawrence and Paisley in the Team Total Toyota, and a bit of a moment there as the Corolla slides wide. The talented Lawrence's aggressive driving style has sometimes landed him in deep trouble, and he has in the past had his fair share of spectacular accidents. A collapsed bearing on stage 16 and punctures slowed his progress up the leaderboard somewhat. Chad van der Walt and Cindy Harding in one of many Sassel VW Polo players in the Total Rally South Africa. The player project is the brainchild of former rally driver and team boss Johan Evertser. The demise of John Lloyd on day 1 of the event meant that Berger and Swanepoel only had to finish to score an additional 10 points and secure a 12-point lead in the FIA Africa Rally Championship. No chances were being taken by the Subaru pair. Johnny Gemmell and Gideon Trollope won the first stage of the day in the Alan J. Plant Services Subaru, but a puncture on the next stage and an encounter with a tree halted his charge. New VW signing Quibusworth and Brendan Noonan had a steady run in the A7 Sassel VW Polo Player, while Barry Quabala and Mike Burrows in a similar car were well placed in 7th position. 8th overall at this point were JP Damso and Graham Hooper in the A6 Team Total Toyota Corolla. Zambian Satwan Singh had put in a great charge during the morning and moved 6 places up the leaderboard in the Mobil 1 Subaru Impreza. Tony Ball from KwaZulu-Natal and Marty Willifear in a Sassel VW Polo Player were in a charge and lying 10th overall, but the man on a mission was Jürgen Flecken, also in a Player. Flecken started 24th in Ermelo after problems on day 2, won stages 15 and 16, and had moved up to 13th overall. A giant killing performance. Unclassified Total Rally South Africa leaders, Camille de Villiers and Francois Jordan in the Nissan Hardbody off-road truck. Spectacular. On board with the Galloping Geriatrics, as they are affectionately known, Jeff Mortimer and Harry Herricker in the Sassel Nissan Sentra. Note the angle of the left front wheel, the result of an encounter with a bank.
It's VW. I'm telling you.
Another off-roader, Yaki Hubert in the Jojo Tanks Volvo turbo-powered VW, never failed to please the spectators. Mortimer's only challenger in the N3 class, husband and wife team Joel and Annika Ritson, also in a Nissan Sentra. The service park at Busby. The local community turned this into a festive occasion with food and refreshments in abundance. All seemed well in the Sassel VW pit as technicians tended to Jan Havig's Sassel VW Golf.
I think our repairs, although it's a bit of a felt repair, has worked. So far, we're just keeping it in there to the end, and I'm pretty confident we'll get to the end. We've got enough of a lead on the other cars, so there's no need now to push the car too hard, and Yanni can look after it.
Skalkberger's relaxed appearance belied the fact that he was under huge pressure to win the FIA Africa Rally Championship category.
We had a slight off, fortunately not very serious. We were very, very lucky, lost about 30 seconds. And apart from that, we're going slowly and taking it easy at the moment.
Berger and Swanepoel's main threat in the FIA Africa Championship is Zambian Satwan Singh. The multiple champion can always be relied upon to finish well up in the points.
We just tickling along. Hopefully we'll get to the finish. We're having niggly problems all the time, but we're hoping to get some points at the end of the event.
Emergency repairs to the Nissan Sentra were underway in the Mortimer pit.
Jeff, a problem here? Yeah, we hit a bank and we bent something here. We're just trying to see what it is. What is bent? I think it's the upright here.
Whoops. A high-speed nosedive at the end of stage 16 forced Quibusworth and Brendan Noonan into retirement.
Stage 16, just at the flying finish, we hit a yump. And I must have just hit it a bit skew and nosedived, and the car's a little bit buggered, as you can see. Pulley wheel, flywheel is buggered. We can't start the car.
A strong contingent of Zimbabweans entered the Total Rally South Africa, including first-time visitor Derek Lane.
We have been running at the back of the field, so it has been pretty hard with all of the vehicles going through in front of us, churning up the ground. It's a bit like a toboggan track going down at some stages. But with guys that are falling out, we are going ahead, moving up the field, and it is a lot easier going. The last couple of stages have been rough, but we're going into some nice smooth stuff now, and we're just going to hold it to the end. Finish is what we're looking for today.
The barefooted Hannes Kruger is a regular competitor in South Africa, and this year he was entered in an N2 Toyota Corolla.
Yesterday was a terrible day for us. We lost 19 minutes, which put us right back to about 32nd position. Today we've gone in with a fairly hard charge, and we're coming up the field. We're taking good time off the guys in front, and just having fun. Conditions are fantastic. The roads are really good, interesting. The forest roads here got to be the best.
An MGB GT in a modern-day rally? Roger Pierce is the MG fanatic.
How many rally miles is this done worldwide now?
This one, about 90,000 kilometers. You'll see it's breaking up a little bit here and there, so forth. But it's been to 48 different countries on about 5 major international rallies. Done London, Sydney twice, London, Mexico once, Africa once, and Targa, Tasmania about 3 times. Unfortunately, we're all a bit long in the tooth now, and we're having difficulty seeing our way and finding our way, and we're hitting the odd rocking thing, which is not doing us much good. But now we're having a lot of fun. Only came here for the fun.
Rally leaders Jan Halbig and Douglas Judd took it easy in the dying stages of the event.
Sounds good, just looking for...
The onboard footage clearly shows that Halbig is nursing the Sassel VW Golf to the finish. Hannes Robler and Richard Lee kept the pressure on Halbig, but the gap was just too big to close and they settled for a secure third place. Class A6 leaders Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley in the Team Total Toyota Corolla. Fourth overall at the stage of the event was good, considering the problems they encountered the previous day. Bronco Spade businessman Skulkberger had settled into second place overall and was the leading N4 competitor in the Subaru Impreza. Johnny Gemmel and Gideon Trollop had decided to back off and earn maximum points in the N4 class. Being plagued by leaking CV joints, a leaking main bearing seal and a slipping clutch put added pressure on Barry Frobler and Mike Burrows in the A7 Sassel VW Polo Player. An off-road excursion in stage 15 cost Team Total pair JP Damso and Graham Hooper a minute, but they soldiered on in second place in the A6 class. The distinctive exhaust note of the Mobil 1 Subaru Impreza of Satwan Singh and Tom Mariuki, the leading foreign competitors in the Total Rally South Africa. Star of the show, Jürgen Flecken certainly has the credentials to become a champion. The ex-Scuderia Africa Ford Escort of Paulo Piazza Musso, now owned by Zimbabwean James White, who was still getting to grips with the vehicle. White and Phil Arsenault were well placed for a top 10 finish. Rally leaders Halbig and Judd. Only a few more stages to go. There's no over-revving this engine. A7 leaders Hannes Robler and Richard Leek in the Total Bridgestone Nissan were still going strong. Enjoy the ride with Hannes. Fourth placed Lawrence and Paisley. The Team Total Toyota pair were comfortable leaders in the A6 class. On board with Skulkberger and Fitzwonderful in the Subaru Impreza. Berger had victory in the FIA Africa Rally Championship in his sights. Winner of the N4 class in the Volkswagen Tour Natal, Johnny Gemmel is a former 250 car champion and a highly talented driver from whom great things are expected in the future. Barry Frobler and Mike Burrows' cause was not helped by a slipping clutch on the Sassel VW Polo Player. 6th overall and second in Class A6, the team total Toyota Corolla of JP Damso and Graham Hooper. Satwan Singh demonstrated his sportsmanship by helping a stuck John Lloyd on day 2, which cost him dearly, otherwise he could well have been placed higher up the leaderboard. The hard-charging Hergen Fecken and co-driver Dave Lukowicz had moved up to 9th overall in the Sassel VW Polo Player. A bit of a moment for Fecken. Gert Jansen van Rensburg and JB van Nieuwenhuizen were on their way to 3rd in Class A6 and 11th overall in the SA National Championship category after a steady run. Lying 6th overall in the FIA Africa Rally Championship category were James White and Phil Arsenault in the Ford Escort RS 2000. A polished performance by Stefan Boshoff and Paul van Dijk saw them walk away with the honours in the M2 class. The service park at Panbold, and there's a hive of activity around the Hubig Sassel VW Golf. Had the valve clearance problem manifested itself again?
Yanni, problem? Yeah, we still got the reoccurring problem with the valve clearance, and once we've done a stage, it closes up the valve clearance and the car won't start afterwards, so we've got to grind it every time after the stage. But we've got one more stage to go, so I think we'll be okay.
No problems in the Subaru pit with a burly Skalkberger in a relaxed mood.
I think het bloed wat onder toe is. What's the state of play, Pete?
Well, we finished the second last stage. We're in second place overall, so we're just going to take it very, very easy and get to the end now.
On board with Jan Hubig and Douglas Judd, and a close encounter with a public vehicle. A few kilometers to go, and overall victory was in sight for the Sassel VW pair. Here in the cockpit with Hannes Robler and Richard Leek. A bit of showboating by Robler and near disaster. Still on board with Robler and Leek. This time they overshoot a turn. A well-earned 3rd overall and 1st in the A7 class for Hannes Robler and Richard Leek in the total Bridgestone Nissan. Victory in the FIA Africa Rally Championship category, and maximum points were also in sight for Skalkberger and Fitz Swanepoel. What does it take to put together a winning team?
I think I must start by saying that the people I've got in the team are good, and a lot of the burden is taken over by people in the team and that know what they're doing, so that makes it a lot easier for me. But we, on average, run the team with 8 cars, 70 people, at least 12 service vehicles, plus another 3 support vehicles, that is to card press and call it family or friends with. So in general, it's quite a big operation, you know, plus our transporter that takes care mainly of the fuel and the tires, and then the transporting to and fro of events. In addition to that, we cater for 70 people, and obviously the catering service that we run is done by a marvelous lady who ensures that the team gets the best food, and she's always on the spot at all hours. So, you know, if I sit and I analyze the whole organization, it took us about two and a half months to establish the infrastructure and to make all the various arrangements. And the functions have been delegated to people, and they now run with it for the remaining of the events. And, you know, all I can say is that I get tremendous support from my team. Drivers, navigators, the service crew. We've done a tremendous job, I believe, up to now in getting this infrastructure going. within a very, very short period of time. So to them, thanks a million.
A festive atmosphere at the finish at the Ermelo Showgrounds. None were as relieved to see the finish line as Jan Hubig and Douglas Judd in the Sassel VW Golf.
Douglas sits a lot lower in the motor car. It is the Golf Ball, the Sassel Volkswagen. Jan Hubig and Douglas Judd very happy to get through to the finish. Well done for total rally for that.
We're quite relieved to get to the end, and I think we were pretty lucky as well. So, and the team has worked very, very hard the last couple of days, and I think they deserve this result as well.
Overall winners in the FIA Africa Rally Championship category, Skalkberger and Piet Swanepoel in the Subaru Impreza.
I'm getting very used to doing this. Very used to doing this. So 3 wins for them. I mean, they're kind of second. They won.
I think it's just simply we have the experience and we know we work very well together as a team, and that's the reason for our success.
Third overall and the Class A7 winners, Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek in the total Bridgestone Nissan.
Right, so that's the third overall. Winners of Class A, double.
It was very, very good. We tried to stay ahead of the four-wheel drives this afternoon. We nearly rolled, but I think we did very well. I'm pleased that it's basically the first outing for the car and in A7 for us, and we're very pleased that we've won it and third overall.
First international finisher and second overall in the FIA Africa Rally Championship category, Satwan Singh and Tom Mariuki in the Mobil 1 Subaru.
Coming our way.
I'm not an easy man to beat, but we will see. I mean, Skalk's been very lucky. He has had a good run, and I congratulate him, by all means. And I hope Zimbabwe, Zambia, and as we go north, there's more my terrain type, So let's see. I said the
season is young.
The season is still very early.
High Octane Motorsport brings you racing action from around the globe, featuring rally action, touring cars,